goodness. This week we're in Southwest Florida. We're in Pineland and we're staying at the Tarpon Lodge. We're going to be fishing the waters of Charlotte Harbor, Pine Island Sound, maybe all the way up to Lemon Bay. Pineland is such a neat area. It's kind of centrally located. You're close proximity to Fort Myers. You have Boca Grande, Charlotte Harbor, Pine Island Sound. There's so many different things that you could do going out of this one area. You know, you can come here for a week and fish a different spot, a different type of water every day. God, what a pretty morning. Dino Fonte, leaving out of here, out of Tarpon Lodge. This place is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it is great. We got a great morning this morning.
God, so Pine Island Sound, I mean, this is all Charlotte Harbor, Boca Grande. This is such a great area for, you know, all kinds of fishing, inshore, offshore. We've been here before. What are we gonna do today?
Today we're gonna start out running the traps north. We're gonna go up towards Stump Pass, see if we can see any triple tail. Once we get into the pass, try and get some bait, see what the snook fishing and red fishing, and maybe some trouts looking like for us today.
There's so much water here. Pine Island Sound, Charlotte Harbor, you know, Boca Grande. We make our way all the way up here to Lemon Bay up by Inglewood. So there's just so much water that you can fish in one area of the state. And look at this. I mean, just, you see where we are in relation to Lake Okeechobee, pretty much just due west of Lake Okeechobee. This whole area is just known for its fishery. As far as Southwest Florida inshore fishing goes, I mean, we're smack dab right in the middle of it.
Yeah, we got everything. We can do anything we want.
All accessible right from here.
Yep.
Let's get on it.
Yep.
You know, when you think of Southwest Florida, probably one of the first things that come to mind is tarpon fishing, at least to me. You know, Boca Grande, world renowned for its tarpon fishery. You know, great beach fishing as well for tarpon in the summer months, but there's a lot more to it than just the tarpon. It's a great inshore fishery for snook, trout, and redfish, and offshore, the cobia fishing, the grouper fishing, all that stuff offshore is really, you know, world-class as well. All right, we just came out of Boca Grande Pass, so this is that time of the year where there's stone crabs.
Oh yeah.
So this place is lined with stone crab pots, and that's something special though, right?
Oh yeah, we get the triple tail on there and throw some shrimp. We got one with the popping cork on here, and then we're gonna free line one, so.
All right, so we're just gonna run up here to the north, make our way to the north to fish, but on the way we're just gonna run past all these stone crab traps, and also you have other potential, you know, bonitas, kingfish.
Oh yeah, all that cool stuff that we could see on the way up there.
Triple tail fishing is pretty good around here. There's a certain time of the year when the stone crabs are being harvested. There's just miles of stone crab pots, and these are just little habitats for these triple tail to get on. So it's a real easy fishery. All you do is you get up on plane, you run along this crab pot lines, and just, you know, looking for these triple tail. They'll be laying right up on the surface under these pots. After running the crab pot lines, it appears like we may be a little early in the season for the triple tail. Really didn't see them, but made our way into Stump Pass and started looking for some bait. This is what I picture of Southwest Florida. These beautiful passes, these natural openings where, you know, just crystal clear water, loaded with bait. You just go up along these shorelines and there's white bait everywhere. These guys really heavily rely on the white bait population to target these snook, trout, and reds. And the thing is to get up in the morning to load these live wells filled with these white baits, and not only for bait, but they do a lot of heavy chumming. And really what that does is kind of, you get to an area, you throw out, you know, a bat full of chum, and it can really tell you if there's any fish in the area, if it's worth sticking around and putting your time in and, you know, looking for that fish to catch. So we're kind of at a transitional period here, you know, going into the fall. Does the fishing patterns change here a lot? Or does it pretty much stay the same year round?
It's pretty close to the same year round. You know, the bites changes a little bit. You know, right now the redfish has kind of slowed down a little and it's more snook and trout. But the baits kind of pushed together all right now. I mean, you can see in the live well, we got some good one off the beach. So, you know, just finding the fish and getting the bait in front of his face is the key.
This area looks so good. I mean, we have oyster bar sitting right here, and there's grass flats, deeper holes, mangrove line, shoreline. So pretty much in just one little area, you have so many different types of little places that you can fish. It's pretty incredible. Micro snook. Throw those little whitebait in there, those little snook get fired up. Little guy. Little juvenile snook. It's good to see though here in juvenile. These are breeding grounds. You know, all these mangroves, these whole areas are just little estuaries for these juvenile snook to grow up.
Real-Time Florida Sportsman is brought to you by Hook and Tackle, authentic performance fishing outfitters since 1963.
You know, we went north today out of Tarpon Lodge, but the area south, you know, Pine Island Sound area, you know, we've done some stuff down there, and the fishing is just as good. You know, that's what's so great about this area is there, you can go north, you can go south. There's so much water here, and all this area is home to beautiful mangrove-lined shores, grass flats, you know, all kinds of structure that these fish hold on. Now we switched it up and out here on a grass flat. It's kind of crazy. I mean, just a different variety of stuff that you can do.
Yeah, we got a lot of diversity down here in what we can fish. We can, I mean, mangroves, grass flats, potholes, whatever you can find. It's down here.
It all holds fish, huh?
That's right.
And trout, red, snook, everything will get out here on these flats as well?
Oh yeah, you can see all the mullet jumping out here, and they're gonna be following that. So that's why we got these topwater on that look like mullet, trying to mimic that across the water.
Woo! There he is. Nice fish. Red?
Is that another big trout?
I think it's a red. No,
Oh,
snook.
snook. Nice
snook. Right there on that topwater plug, right along that shoreline. Good job. We both threw in that same spot. It looks so good. You got yours in front of them. Nice. God, he swallowed that plug.
Mm-hmm.
He just inhaled that plug. Nice fish.
Nice little snook.
That's cool. Ate that top water right there on that, right outside that little bar off the mangroves.
Been slow, but picking up. You know, we got on this flat and there's a lot of action going on. We got mullet jumping. We've seen a little shark pushing through. This flat's definitely alive, and the result is a nice little Southwest Florida snook.
Sweet. Let's get that one back in the water.
Oh yeah.
Top water is another thing. It's a great technique, something that a lot of people think of as low light conditions, but this is something that'll work all day long. In these rougher water conditions, it can be pretty good. It's a great prospecting bait. You can cast them really far in heavy winds, you cover a lot of water, and snook and trout, they'll eat a topwater all day long in Southwest Florida. I gotta tell you, Dino, when I think of Southwest Florida, I think of tarpon fishing. You know, and I know this inshore snook, trout, and reds is really good as well, but tarpon is what comes to mind.
Oh yeah, we during the summer months of like late May, June, July, August, we'll get the tarpon going right down the beach, and you can just go right outside, putt around, just look for the pods. They're all over the place.
And that's pretty much a summertime fishery?
Yeah, a lot of tarpon. You know, you get the snook on the beach as well. There's a lot of stuff going on the beach. You get the bait out there, and
but
all
the tarpon's mainly that summertime bite. In the winter times they take off.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, we get a couple year-round fish, but most of the time it's summertime. That's the good tarpon bite.
There's so many great places to stay here too. You know, places right on the water, and what's neat to me, you know, coming over here and at least from the East Coast, is you get to see that sunset. You know, we get the nice sunrise, but we never get that pretty sunset.
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys get over here.
Yep, Southwest Florida is known for that.
Boca Grande is a unique location, a naturally deep water pass, and there's a lot of water moving in and out of this pass. You have all these estuaries, these little river systems that flow into Charlotte Harbor, and that all dumps out of Boca Grande Pass. And really, what that means is just a giant feeding ground for these tarpon. When they're spawning, they sit in this deep water of this pass most of the summer months, and it's an incredible sight to see. There it is.
That looks like a nice trout.
That's a trout. That's a good one, bro, on that topwater plug.
Yeah.
Little trout there on that flat. We're just drifting across the flat, switched spots, threw some YO-ZURI topwaters on, and a couple casts into it. Here's what we got. That's a nice one. Nice
little Southwest Florida trout.
Yeah, pretty.
A yellow mouth.
Just Looks just like a mullet, that YO-ZURI
Oh yeah.
pencil there. Ah, there he went.
She gone.
Nice one.
Oh, there you go,
Ooh,
George.
another trout. You get loaded in here, huh, on these flats?
Oh yeah, it's a nice grass flat with some good holes in it, and these mullet push across, and
Trout
trout follow.
Sitting in here waiting.
Want some help?
It's kind of crazy because you think of trout as topwater as a early morning, low light situation, but right out here in pretty much middle of the day. Came up and ate that. Schoolie sized trout right there. Look at that. The yellowmouth. Look at his teeth. Really grab a hold of things. Cool fish.
Real-Time Florida Sportsman is brought to you by Eagle Claw TROKAR, the sharpest fish hooks in the world.
We're on a pretty good snook bite. You know, a lot of smaller fish, and that's good. You know, you see how healthy the population is. When you're seeing those smaller juvenile snook, you know that you're in a nice, healthy area. You know, a true breeding ground for these snook. We're catching quite a bit of smaller fish using smaller white bait, but all fun just the same.
Uh-oh.
I got bit.
Fish.
Doubled up in there. There we go.
Got a nice little snooky on.
Power pulled up in here and threw some bait. Little snook.
Oh, see all the greenbacks just fly out?
Yeah, that's where all your chummers went. Yeah, look at these little juvenile snook in there.
Both about the exact same size.
Right back in the mangroves. There are tons of these in here. Pretty easy to catch. Throw white bait in the mangroves there on a small TROKAR J hook, and boom. Ready to let him go?
Yes, sir.
Cool. The variety of fishing that you can do here in one day, you see it from what we're doing. We're out in the Gulf, we're in the pass, we're up in mangrove shorelines, you know, we're fishing grass flats. The area is so vast, so big, there's so many different types of fishing that you can do here. Oh!
That looks like a bluefish.
Big jack. God, how cool was that bite? Dude, he wanted that thing.
Yeah, he did.
God. 3D pencil inshore series, man, I got inhaled. Oh, goodness.
There you go.
I think I got one.
Yeah, look at that thing.
Look how fast this fish is swimming. I think I tied into one too. Literally hit the water and got inhaled. Dino's got one and I threw out there and hit the water, and as soon as it did, this jack just exploded on it. They're so aggressive out on these flats. If you see anything chasing mullet around, just hammering them. This is probably what's doing it. Just, they will not let go.
There you go, little school jack.
There we go. Nice. Dino, what do you think, man? November right now. Snowing in some parts of the U.S. and we're out here in shorts. And this is pretty much, you know, most of the year here. It does get chilly for a while. January, February cools off pretty good, but.
Yeah, we're pretty fortunate we get to do this year round. We don't have to bundle up for the cold.
And the fishery here, we're just as one piece of it. The offshore fishery is incredible. We've done a lot of bottom shows out front, you know, grouper and snapper and cobia and permit. I know it's just a gem out front, just as much as inside here. Do you guys do any of that too, or you mainly stick inshore?
I mostly stay inshore. You know, I got friends that do all that. You know, the rigs that I have set up, it's mostly for inshore fishing.
A little longer runs here offshore than,
right,
you know,
right.
Typically 20, 30, 40 miles, a lot of the bottom spots that these guys are running. So it takes a little bit of investment and time and supplies and the right boat, stuff to do it, but it's doable, definitely doable.
Yeah, anyone can get out here and do this. You don't need a a boat with a motor. You can get out here with a kayak, paddleboard, anything, you know.
That's pretty popular too. That kayak stuff's becoming more and more popular.
Right at the boat. That was cool.
God, I about yanked it out of my hand. Man, these jacks, I tell you what, whoo, violent. That's like a,
look at the color on that one.
God, almost looks like a pompano. You guys get pompano in here in the wintertime?
Yeah, yeah, out on the beach a little bit.
Yeah, we get them good on the East Coast. Look at that, making all that noise. Whew. Another cool thing about this area is the amount of exploration that you can do on the roads, you can do out on the water. There's just winding waterways that take you to these off the beaten path places like Cabbage Key. The first homes were put out on Cabbage Key in the 1930s, and it's still privately owned today. It's a really unique destination. First off, the means of getting there. You need a boat to get out to this island. Once you get out there, there's a restaurant, there's a cool water tower where how they got their water back in the day. There's tortoises that are walking around the island, lushly landscaped. It's definitely a place you want to take the time and come out and visit.
Real-Time Florida Sportsman is brought to you by YO-ZURI, fish the best.
This week I'm going to talk about the advantages of having a trailerable boat. Now I'm not talking about something you throw on the back of a flatbed or a 2-ton and it takes quite a bit to go from point A to point B. This 26 Triton is easily pulled behind most vehicles that are set up to tow. And the great thing about coming to a place like Tarpon Lodge is you just launch the boat, put the truck and the trailer in the parking lot for several days and forget about it. I have the boat in the water, a versatile platform to either head inshore, offshore, or just throw the kids in there and head over to Cabbage Key for lunch. We've had some really windy conditions. I mean, 3 weeks of just brutal, non-stop, 15 to 20 mile an hour winds. And what that does is it really affects the red fishing. A lot of this area is, you have to sight cast these schools of reds, and when the water is rough and dirty, it makes it difficult to find those big schools of fish. But that doesn't mean you can't catch redfish. It just means you have to change your techniques. Rather than looking for those big schools, you just target those areas where there's a lot of single fish, these mangrove line shores, some of these sandbars where they meet up to grass flats. These are great areas to target these single redfish that'll be swimming by. Oh my God! That was cool. What an explosion. Just working down this bar here. Shallow bar, you can see throwing plugs. I'm throwing a jig and man, tell you what, the jacks are roaming on this thing right now.
Oh, it's a red.
Oh, it's a red. Oh my God, we thought it was a jack. Look at the size of this red. Top water plug, middle of the day. Not what you quite expect, but he inhaled that thing like a jack. Nice fish. Dino, I think that's is that your slam? You guys see trout and red? So that's the official inshore slam. I don't care if you're on the East Coast or the West Coast. That's the one you want, the Snook trout and red, and Dino's got it. This is finishing it off right here with this beautiful redfish. Came up and ate this YO-ZURI. Look at that fish, look at that, and that's what he ate, look at that. Just like a mullet, inshore series, YO-ZURI pencil, look at that, perfect. He hammered that plug.
It looked like a jack coming out of the water for it.
And the crazy thing is you typically think of these as bottom feeding fish with the mouth low set like that. And to watch one of these guys come up and eat a topwater plug is everything. Get that one back in the water?
Yes, sir.
God, nice fish. That'd be a keeper fish right there too.
Yeah.
Slot fish. So pretty much got it covered here. YO-ZURI pencil, great, prospecting bait. Not something you actually think of in the middle of the day. A lot of chop on the water right now, but you know what? They're coming up. It's almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They're still feeding. Just caught a red on it. And I'm following behind with a soft plastic, something a little bit more subsurface, get down. If they're not as aggressive, don't want to come up to the top, it's always good to have somebody throwing right behind with the soft plastic. A lot of times too, you'll see them come up and boil on a bait like that and miss it. If you throw it right behind with something like this, so often you get the bite. It seems to be working today though. Pineland area is so unique. it's an island. So when you think of an island, you're thinking you're gonna get out there and there's gonna be condos and all developed. And it's so rural out here that on the drive out to Tarpon Lodge, you see all these tree farms, and I wasn't expecting that on an island. And when you get to Tarpon Lodge, what a destination. It's one of those places that has such history. It's been here since the 1900s. It just amazes you to think how many people have been here, the fish that have been caught, and the stories that have been told in this little bar alone. Getting back to the dock, the sun is going down, and I'm reminded of how special this area is. It's amazing. All of a sudden, people come out of nowhere, and they know exactly what time sunset is every night on the west coast of Florida, and they don't take it for granted. They come out with their cameras, and it's so neat to see that people are just walking out there taking pictures of these beautiful sunsets. You know, whether you're hardcore fishing or coming with a family, this is such a cool destination. You have like a little off-the-wall town like Matlacha that you can go in and do some shopping. You can go out to Cabbage Key and have lunch or drinks. You know, Tarpon Lodge, even staying here, they got a great restaurant, a great bar to hang out and pool. So it doesn't matter, you know, it's not all hardcore fishing. If you just want to come and hang out, this is an awesome destination. It's so rural out. It's so rural out here. Does that sound right? Man, I'm on fire. Look at that. Huh? Who said there's no snook here? Who said there's no snook here? Oh. Meow. You know these. I can't see it. It sounds like rural.